So, this is the video I had hoped I would never have to make. I'm here, back on Crete, in the same spot where 2 years ago I announced to you guys that I was quitting my main job. That I was going to focus on my content. That I was going to use my savings to kind of try and make this into a career. So now we're 2 years later, and I guess I have the unfortunate news that I failed in doing so. That's the first time I say that out loud. To make a long story short, I have about 10% of my budget left, which was the point at which I had decided for myself that I would have to call it, as they say. So that basically means that I have to start looking for a job again, which is a completely different story. First, I want to kind of explain what that actually means for all the content that I've been making over the last 2 years and what the impact is going to be. And to be fair, I don't know. All will depend on what the job is going to be that I'm going to get. I don't even know what job I'm going to be looking for. I have no idea what to do next. I have been having so much fun in the last 2 years. This is just what I love doing most. This is what I want to do. And build on this for the rest of my life, not just make YouTube content, but this has always felt like a starting point to something way bigger that I had in mind that I wanted to do. I came pretty close. I mean, at the start of this year, I was still very, very confident. Well, very confident. I'm never very confident, but I was quite confident that I was going to make it. Everything was looking up. The numbers were going up in a very spectacular way. I was invited to the Spotlight event, which was huge, and so much has happened. Like, my streams took off, or at least got a bigger audience. But then it just kind of all fell apart. Because in a way, for the Omnic post, I'm very dependent on other people, mainly Blizzard, and they have been very nice to me. They invited me to the Spotlight event, which is, I mean, that was a nice little boost. But up till now, throughout that dramatic growth, I always had these moments where I was allowed to show you guys stuff that you hadn't seen before. We could give you guys the skins or the patch notes for a season the day before it actually happened, which was really helpful. That kind of boosted. Those were the big moments. Those were 80,000 views videos, which is huge for me. And just by having those on a regular basis, the channel just jumped up because people liked what I did. But those moments have not materialized because of reasons. I did not get those opportunities in the last few seasons. So those moments have been missing. And I was kind of counting on those moments to kind of, make it to the line, to kind of make it to the other side, to make everything kind of tip over. It is what it is. It happened, and there's nothing I can do about that anymore. But just in general, my numbers have, in the most critical moment, in the last, let's say, month and a half, my numbers have just halved in general. Like, every video that I expect to get 10K gets 5K, barely. Everything that used to get 5K gets stuck on 3K. Stuff like that. And I try not to focus on the numbers, but those were kind of the things, the little boosts I needed to kind of, get some income and keep the party rolling. I have a company that I need to run. And I've been optimizing my costs, like bringing it back to the lowest point possible. I pay myself the bare minimum, cut back on a lot of stuff. Yet, yeah, it didn't help. So I'm now at this point where if I don't make this big choice, this drastic choice, I'm going to be out of money and the company is going to go bankrupt. I can't have that. That cannot happen. There's too much tied into that company. So I need to find a way to get an income. so I can survive basically. And like I said, I have no idea what that is going to be. If I can find something that I can do for 2 days in a week that is going to keep me stable and I can still make the content, I'll just have to cut some stuff. Like I've already been cutting stuff. I've not posted on Geek and Plunder for the last few weeks. I've slowly kind of wound down everything with Deemzies TV, although that channel was growing fast, but it was all on Marvel Rivals content and I'm not that interested anymore in the game. I'm terribly sorry for those Marvel Rivals players, and especially with everything that is happening in Overwatch, that was where I needed to put my focus. Was that the best choice? I don't know. In the end, I'm doing this mainly to have fun and to be happy, but I also need to make a living. And sometimes I have to kind of sacrifice things that are fun and that I want to do to make that living. But I also have learned for myself, if I'm not really passionate about the topic, it's not going to work. That's why I started Geek and Plunder, because those are topics I'm passionate about. And for Deemzies TV, I had the idea of kind of doing a lot of different gaming content of other games, but yeah, the only thing that worked was Marvel Rivals, so I don't know. I know for a fact that I made some decisions in the last 2 years that were wrong, that I should have done differently. But that's the whole process. This is all new to me, so it is all a path of discovery. And when you discover, you step into a puddle, you trip. But as long as you don't tumble down the ravine, you're fine. And I feel like I'm kind of on the brink of tumbling down the ravine, so can't have that. So yeah, if I should find something that gives me enough time to kind of do something on top of it. Because trust me, this is more than a full-time job. The hours I've put in to everything that I've been doing in the last 2 years is just insane. 7 days a week, at least 10 hours every single day, usually more. But I had fun. It is literally the hardest I've ever worked in my life, but it doesn't feel that way. I had such a blast. But again, back to the topic, what does that actually mean in practical sense when it comes to my content? So if I can find something that allows me keep making content to a certain degree, I'll have to start cutting. And I have a priority list in mind that is set. The first things that are going to go, and that already went, is Geek and Plunder. Next up, stuff like the podcast. Everything that is Omnic Post social. And the last two things I'm going to try to keep up as long as possible is the Omnic Post on YouTube. The video content, because that is what I love doing. And the final resort, the one that I'm definitely going to keep doing forever till my last day, is this channel. Because no matter how much fun I have with all my other content, this is where I can be myself. This is where I can just share everything that is going on in this huge ass nugget on top of my shoulders. I'm going to keep doing this, and I hope I can keep up the Omnic Post. Streaming is also kind of before that. I mean, I love talking to you guys. It does bring in some money, but I'm not a streamer. I can't stream 8-9 hours a day, at which point it becomes viable, it becomes an income that you can use, but I can't do that. That's not where my heart lies. My heart lies in making video content. And yeah. And it sucks that I did not reach my goal. It really does. It's actually, I think, the first time that I feel like I really have to abandon something that I love so much. Well, maybe, we'll see. I'm not giving up hope just yet. I mean, if I can find something part-time to do and I can keep working on the content, maybe we'll get that switch around at some point. It's going to be a lot more difficult. I know that from before I quit my job, how difficult it can be. That's the main reason why I quit my job, was because I just felt it was untenable to keep doing it in combination with a daytime job. But you know, I tried. Now before I close down this rather depressing video, 2 more things. I want to thank everybody that has been so supportive over the last 2 years. My members on Patreon, some of you have been paying for months, supporting me, and it definitely helps. It actually still allows me to not have to look for a full-time job, because there is enough money coming in to do something part-time. So thank you guys. Without you guys, I would be completely done now. And also, the people that just show up in my stream, they show up for every single video I post. Every single time. They are on my Discord server, that are in my comments, being so supportive. I can't emphasize enough what that means to me, because this is a very lonely thing to do. This is a very lonely journey. Nobody really understands what you're doing. It has been kind of rough the last few months. And the second thing I wanted to say is that I know that some people that are kind of on the same adventure that I am, in a very different way of looking at this, don't get discouraged because of this, because not every single story is the same, and it's not because I tripped and might land on my face that is going to happen to you, because some of you are doing really amazing stuff. Keep going. I'm going to keep going. For now, this is not the end. It's a big setback, but... And the longer I spend on this island, which I consider to be my home, the more I realize that nothing is lost. Anything is still possible. Sorry for this depressing video, guys. I have some better content coming up. I'm doing a lot of filming here. I'm using the big camera. I'm gonna make some really beautiful shots, show you guys the island. The next video I'm going to post that I'm working on right here is basically almost like a case that I'm making on why I keep coming back here and why I love coming to this island. And the best way to do that is by showing you guys and showing you what I go through and what I live through and why I loved coming back twice a year now. I'm pretty sure there's like a beehive in one of these trees really close to me. I can hear that distinct noise. I don't know if you guys can hear it. I don't want to get in trouble. Maybe I should just, I don't know. Maybe I should just head off. I think I'm going to visit a friend, see how he's doing. He's kind of on a similar adventure than I am. Thank you guys. I promise I'm going to keep trying. Like I said, if you have any tips, if you know any sponsors, if you haven't seen my Patreon yet, maybe check out my merch. Or just tell a friend. That works best. I'm going to be back here in September, and I'm going to be back here June 2026, and we're going to have more videos like this. We'll have different stories to tell every single time, and I really hope that the next one is going to be way more positive than this one was. From the ground of my heart, with a passion. Man, this might be a shitty message to give, but this place is still... Alright guys, I'll see you in the next video, which is going to be very soon.